Thank you for joining us on the third episode of the Cal Wellness Podcast. Cal stands for Championing Our Wellness, and it's an opportunity for students at Shippensburg University, whether it's athletics, wellness, and others, to come together and discuss our wellness and how we improve and share our stories and experiences. So thank you for joining us again. My name is Maddie. I am a junior here at Shippensburg University studying journalism, and I'm here with Spencer, who is also working.
Spencer, as always, I am a social work major, and we're, of course, doing this. We have two guests with us today.
We've got, if you want to...
I can just go. My name is Emily. This is Joy. We're both graduate interns at the RAC. It is my first year in the counseling department as a grad student.
Yes, and I'm Joy. Like Emily mentioned, I'm in the counseling program, and I am a graduate intern at the RAC. And this is my fourth semester? Yeah, I think my fourth semester.
Very nice.
So, yes.
Thank you so much for joining us here, especially on a really dreary, disgusting, rainy day outside. It's absolutely pouring rain out. And so I feel like today is a really good day to discuss our topic of self-care, which is kind of perfect for a rainy day like today. I don't know about you guys, but like when the rain is like this, I'm like, okay, this is the world telling me I need to bundle up and light a candle and maybe get some work done and maybe fall asleep.
Yeah.
So
Try to have a nice,
that's the
relaxing
move.
day.
Get a nap on a rainy day for sure.
we talked about that a couple days ago in the wellness space, napping and what our ideal nap is. And I keep thinking about that because in my experience personally, I go by the motto that naps are the enemy, because once I take a nap and once I fall victim to a nap, like I'm just lethargic for the rest of the day.
I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't nap.
Is that your experience too?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If I take a nap, it's like, 30 minutes, and it turns into like 2 hours, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to do anything else. Like, I'm checked out.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm
I
not,
agree.
can't nap.
I saw a fact that kind of sticks with me on the Mel Robbins podcast, which is a really good podcast. She said that when you press snooze on your alarm, and this kind of changed everything for me because I love snoozing. I love the snooze button. When you press snooze on the snooze button, even if it's for 5 minutes, you fall into a different kind of sleep. You begin an entirely new REM cycle. So when you wake up and you have to get out of bed, like you're still fighting off that REM cycle.
Yeah.
So
Can I be honest? Sometimes I will wake up in the morning and then like
be so honest, Spencer.
I'm just trying to keep it honest here. Like when I fall back asleep, that can be like the best sleep I get all night long. So like I don't know what that is. Like,
It's
if I
so
wake up,
true.
like an hour
That
before
is
my alarm
true.
and then fall back asleep, I'm like
And I wish that wasn't true.
Yeah.
I wish that wasn't
Yeah.
true.
right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll fall back asleep and I'll have a full-length dream
Definitely.
in the span of like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Ooh. Yeah, it'll be the
goodness.
best sleep you ever get.
Those
Yeah.
5 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah,
They make a
exactly.
difference.
I always look at my phone like, how much time do I have to before
Yeah.
the next alarm goes on?
Ooh, yeah. Gosh, you have to fight it off. I think
Yeah.
that's like that's my biggest
So
like
hard.
that's my Achilles heel, I feel like.
But I think that ties in well to self-care for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
how would you guys say that like your sleep schedule like ties into your self-care?
Oh, if I don't get enough sleep, like I feel really awful. So I have a very strict sleep schedule. Like I wake up at like 6:30 every day.
Nice.
'Cause
Oh
I just,
wow.
like,
Very nice.
yeah, and then I try to go to sleep like as early as possible, but that's just kind of how I take care of myself because I've realized as a person I need like at least 8 hours of sleep or
Yeah.
I'm just like the day is not going to go well for me.
Yeah.
So I
definitely
have
agree
to.
with that. It's
I have
hard.
to have a good sleep schedule.
Yeah, I feel like my sleep schedule is still in the works.
Yeah.
It's
still
still
I'm
in the
there
works.
with you. I'm there with you.
Yes, I struggle sometimes
It takes
but
a
I
while.
know it does take a while, and I feel like at the end of the day, like you know that you need your rest, and it's like you know these things. So it's like if you're telling yourself, "Oh, I'm going to be more strict with my sleeping schedule," it's obviously for the purpose of taking care of yourself, and making sure like you're listening to your body. But at times we get caught up with things, and then it makes us stay up a little
Yeah.
later, and it just all falls down. All
Yeah.
dominoes fall down.
Listening to your body, that was something interesting that you said that I kind of take into account. My sleep schedule was, it's just been really messed up lately, and I feel like I was feeling like a super, again, lethargic and just not there because I was so tired and my sleep schedule was so messed up that I was just like, let me just, email my professor, let them know that I'll be absent today, because thinking about it logistically, I'm not encouraging skipping class. Don't do that. Go to class.
Certainly
But
not.
if you go to class and you're like, all you can think of is a nap,
Yeah, if you're
And
not,
you're not
present,
taking
you're
any
not
information?
really there
Yeah.
anyways.
You're really not.
I don't want to encourage this, but it's just like take a nap and then wake up feeling more energized and then go over the notes and then take in the information. Maybe this isn't the best information, but that's, I feel like, what has worked.
Sometimes
For
you just
me.
have to do it.
Yeah.
I do
Sometimes you have to
that.
listen to yourself and be like, today's just not
Yeah.
the day. Like, this is just not going to be productive for me. I need to take a little reset.
Yeah.
And as long as you're communicating that with your professor and they know, like, okay, well, I'm like struggling, this, I mean, because sleep is like, I feel like it ties into your mental health. Like, you taking care of yourself, you taking care of your body. Like, people get sick from lack of sleep.
Very
People,
true.
Like, people suffer from like conditions and illnesses because they're lack of sleep. So I feel like it's a big part of like one's like, I don't know, one's development. Just like resetting and like adjusting to what you need to best support your body.
Yeah.
So yeah, just communicating with your professors
Yeah.
and like being able to like understand that, okay, just know if you take that nap and you go back to sleep,
Yeah.
if you miss that class, you have to be responsible.
Hold yourself accountable also, and go to office hours.
Yes,
and I
office
feel really
hours.
fortunate that I have professors that I really enjoy going to their office hours. Shout out Dr. Knight, Dr. Misty Knight. I love your office hours, and I love your class. And yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool. I think, I mean, for me, obviously, sleep ties in my self care very, very much, because if I don't get good hours, and I'm gonna be in a world of hurt the next day. And something my brother always tells me is like, it's like borrowed fun. It's like you stay up late at night and you're like, you're not hurting now, you're not really paying for it now, but then in the morning, that's when you really hate yourself.
yes, that is the thought I have when I look at my phone and it's like
Borrowed fun.
2, 3 a.m.
I'm like, I only got 4 hours. What am I supposed to
Yeah,
do now?
no,
Like,
and I
I'm in
always
trouble.
count it before I go to sleep and set my alarm, and I'm like
Yes,
setting
you
my
start
alarm.
counting how many hours.
Yeah.
I did that the other night. I was watching Is It Cake on Netflix, and I was like, okay, it's 2:15. I was like, it's 2:15.
Such a
Joy.
good show,
I
too.
know it really is. But I said this morning, I looked at Emily. I said, do I look tired? And she was like, no. And I was like, I was up.
That was,
I was.
Yeah.
for real.
So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the thought. Like you always just get like, it's just like it's a spiral of bad feelings because you're setting that alarm and you realize you're not going to get the ideal amount of sleep, and you're like, I'm going to hate myself tomorrow.
Crap.
And so
literally. But then the crazy thing is, we do this to ourselves. Like we know
exactly.
that we're going to feel like crap, and
Yeah.
we still stay up late.
So
Like we still stay up late, all
Yeah.
because of a show, or all because of like restless thoughts, or all
Yeah.
because like we want to be out and about, or we're
Yeah.
talking to friends. So it's like you know what you're signing yourself up for.
yeah, I'm trying to get like Emily. Like I got,
Yes, me too.
I have to.
Props to you.
I worked on it a lot in undergrad.
So what
Yeah.
helped you?
Exactly. What helps you?
I realized really quickly that like if I didn't get enough sleep, the day would just not go very well. Like I would not be in a great mood, like I would not be in a good headspace. And I have very long days where I can't really take a nap even if I wanted to. So if I don't get enough sleep, then that makes everything else, because we have night classes. Like our
Yeah.
classes start at 4 or 6:45 p.m. and like they can last until 9:15. So like
Yeah.
I'm there the whole time. If I'm not present, I don't understand what's going on because I'm so tired.
Yeah, and
I
long
just
work
wasted a whole
days.
class because they're only once a week.
Yeah.
So like I really have to make
yeah.
the most of the time in the class. So I kind of was
Yeah.
like, you need to be able to be present.
Yep.
It's like today, like I work all day today,
All day.
like 8 a.m. till 9 p.m.
You have
So,
two
like,
classes, right?
I had 2 classes yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday I worked 8 o'clock to 1, and then I had class 4 to 9:15. So like I could have taken a nap in the middle, but I had work to get done. So it's
Yeah.
like I have such structured long days that if I don't get enough sleep, I will pay for it at the end.
Yeah.
And I have to make it through the week. So if I don't sleep enough, I might not make it to Wednesday. I'm going to be like, I'm so exhausted, I can't keep going. So now I
Little
kind of have that in the
zombie.
back of my mind. Like, you have to get enough sleep or else you will not have a good day.
Yeah. And fighting off that nap has so much to do with integrity. I feel like.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would like to take a nap, but then I think, okay, like, am I helping future me if I don't take a nap and I get
Yes,
my work done?
future
Because then you
you.
can relax later.
Yes.
Let's talk about future you. I feel like so much of self-care. Oh my gosh, that's one of the cheat codes I feel like for self-care.
Yes.
looking out for future you.
Yes.
One of the things, and I feel like this is like when I think of self-care, this is what I think of. Like a lot of people think of like face masks, taking a bath, and like taking care of yourself, which is true. Those are great things to practice. But I also like to just keep in mind me in the future. For example, when I'm getting ready to maybe go out with friends for a night, I make it a priority. Okay, what will future me like to come home to? Will future me like to have all of the answers and all of the knowledge to succeed in tomorrow's exam or tomorrow's class or tomorrow's quiz? And would future me like to have the Brita filled up and my water bottle full for when I get home and my bed made and a clean room? So just like being very adamant about that, not because I feel like I have to or if that's an obligation, but just to make me in the future proud of myself and comfortable and prepared for the next day.
I love that.
Because I feel like there's like short-term self-care and like long-term self-care.
Yeah.
It's like short-term, like in the moment, things that are making you feel good, but long-term can help you in the future. So I think as long as you have kind of like a balance of both, then you're in the moment having a really good time, and your self-care is helping you kind of recuperate from everything you've gone through, but then you're preparing yourself in the future. So I kind of try to do like both.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of get like a mix.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like that.
And also, I feel
that.
like there's a possibility that some people might do self-care for how they appear to others sometimes. Maybe like, okay, well, I have to get a lot of sleep because I don't want to be like late in class tomorrow morning. I don't want people to look at me, and like, I don't want to be tired. And just for other people to appear for other people, which can be a motivator, but it's not going to make you feel good.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know?
a motivator for you.
Yeah,
So
do it
it's
for
not,
yourself.
Like fully self-care, because you're not doing it for you.
Exactly.
Which is essentially like the whole point.
Yeah.
Of self-care. You're helping you.
Yeah.
Helping yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that future you.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that. But I think when you really think about it, it is like that. And then being able to like set the right like boundaries and prioritizing certain things that you need to do in order to best help yourself for your future self
Yeah.
is like it's like a gem.
Yeah. And I think that has so much to do with like altering your inner monologue sort of. Because in the past it's really helped my mindset to think in the past, like, for example, I think being like, okay, well, I have to study because I have to, and like I have to, I have to go work out because I have to like look good, whatever. And now I've changed it to be like, I work out because I deserve to be healthy. I go to sleep because I deserve to get good rest, and I study because I deserve to succeed, and things like that. And just like just because, if you look at yourself with like deserving more and like with a better outlook on yourself, that could it reinforces a positive look on yourself, and then also improves your quality of life.
I think.
Wow, like I'm like kind of
You're dropping some gems.
I don't know why I'm like I feel like I have like the cheat codes to life. I don't.
Just write a book.
But just what's
Write a little book for us.
Oh my
What were you
goodness.
saying?
No, I was just gonna say I think that all ties into just perspective. I think perspective is like that is one of the things that I focus on in my life so much, and just like the way I look at situations, the way I go into a situation. I'm always like, if I'm not prepared, I'm thinking, all right, well, what could go wrong? But then also, what's going to go right? Like the perspective of this is going to be okay. I'm going to make it out no matter what. It's fine. So like, I think that's a big thing. And like, just recently, me and my friends, we started to like plan a trip together. We didn't exactly end up doing exactly the trip that I wanted to do. And I was like, damn, that kind of sucks. I'm not going to like, ruin the trip for everyone else. Obviously, I'm going to go.
Yeah, we've all been there.
I'm
Just ruin the whole trip.
Right, I'm not going to like be a
Go
baby
ahead.
about it.
Go ahead.
But,
Absolutely.
no,
Not coming anymore.
no, but I just recently I'm talking to my other friends. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna lean in, go all in and be like, I'm super excited for this trip. I'm gonna like go and like have a great time, and then we'll make memories I didn't even think we could make, even if it's not the ones like I expected to, because it's different locations. So like, it's just things like that perspective, and like having a good perspective on things and a better outlook on life will allow you to just make it through your days so much easier,
Yeah.
I love waking up every morning. Not
It's
at
about
7
your
a.m.
attitude.
Positive mindset. I do think you're a very
Yeah.
positive person, Spencer.
I agree.
You have a good
He
attitude.
brings that to Rack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely
I'm glad.
does.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. That's the hope.
Yeah.
That's
For
the hope.
sure.
I think
I
that's
think more people
important.
should be more positive.
Yeah. I kind of clutched my heart for a second when you said, what could go wrong, but also what could go right. I'm very much that kind of hit me because it's like I'm very much a what could go wrong person, and I kind of lose sight of like what could go right. I think when you're in the what could go wrong mindset, I think for me, before I enter any situation, I imagine like 32 different outcomes and fully immerse myself in those. And then I'm just setting up myself for disappointment, kind of.
It's like you try to prepare yourself, but you can't really always prepare yourself.
You never can fully
know what's going to happen.
You can create an idea, which can eventually lead to like stress and anxiety, trying to discern how you will act in those situations. But you can never really predict anything. And so, just imagining the possibilities of like how great things could be, because I often psych myself out and be like, maybe I shouldn't go. I don't know. But then things end up being better than I expected. So imagine what could go right, I guess.
I think sometimes we build things up in our heads a lot. I mean, all the time we do that. But like, just for me personally with my assignments, my homework, I'm always like, this is going to be a mountain. This is going to be such a big hill to climb. I got to do so much stuff to get this done. But then I end up doing it's like 25 minutes. I'm like, what was I even on about? Why was I stressing so much? But like, that's kind of the same thing where like, you think of all these different perspectives, different outcomes that are negative, but like, until you start thinking of the positive ones, it's not going to be, it'll be much easier once you start thinking of the positive ones rather than the negatives.
I feel like it connects with having a good attitude. Like either way, like just like I know, shout out to Dr. Bennett, but he's one person I would say like he always informs like a lot of students that we work with like is about your attitude. Like either way, like if it's negative or it's positive, having a good attitude determines your altitude. Yeah, I don't know. I forget who's that's a quote.
I've heard that before, but it's
I didn't make that up. Okay. But yes, he instilled it in me, and I always instill he's instilled it in me and also our students. But I also instill it into the students that I constantly work with on a day-to-day basis. Because I'm like, you can have a positive attitude or you can have a negative attitude, but just know either way it's gonna turn out one way or another. So yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was good.
Food for thought.
It's
like
a good
quote.
quote.
That was good.
We'll have to find it. I forget whose it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I didn't
sounds like
say
something
it.
my mom would
Attitude
say.
determines your altitude.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's good.
Yeah. I have to remember
That's a
whose
good
clip
one.
it is.
Joy's going to look it up.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Goodness. I think while Joy is doing that, maybe you want to talk about some self-care things you do for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I think self-care for me, I like to read, which is sometimes hard. Like as a grad student, I feel like the textbooks we have to read are hefty. Hefty.
Very much hefty.
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard, but I try to take time like at the end of every day to like read a chapter or two of a book I want to read. Or I like to go on runs, which is sometimes why I wake up at like an ungodly time. So I'm like, I feel really good after I go on a run and it's a nice start to the day. I'm in like a nice mindset. There's no one out. I can run and it's like empty streets. So you don't have to do like a big crazy like self-care thing. Like I am very much into like the little things that'll make me feel better for like the entire day. Like I like to make a coffee in the morning because it makes me feel like nice and excited for the day. So it's like a little thing.
Me too.
Yeah. It's like fun. I'm like a little barista moment, like start my day off, coffee.
Try a new recipe.
Yeah.
I'm very much the same.
It's exciting.
I'm very envious of you when you say like go on a run in the morning. And I feel like that has to do so much with you getting up early and having that routine. I have felt, I was disgusted when I found this out. I was not happy, but I realized it was true. Waking up early is the cheat code. Getting up early is the solution. Because you wake up early, you might go to the gym, and then that leads to maybe like meet a friend or something and then do a couple more things. And then look, it's 10 a.m. You have the rest of your day
You feel very
to do
accomplished
things.
because you're like, wow, I've done so much already. But then it's hard because then you have to like, okay, I need to go to bed early. And that was my biggest problem.
Yeah.
Like, I would wake up early and then I wouldn't go to bed early. And I'd be like, oh, this is awful.
This is not it.
No,
awful.
it's you choose which one you want, and you could stay up to 3 a.m. and you could do homework and things, but then you might not wake up as early the next day, or you might not feel energized the next day. So it's like it's choose your fighter, I guess.
Yeah.
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 That's so funny. Choose your fighter. So I did find the person that made that quote. Is your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. And it's by Zig Ziglar. Yeah. So because it wasn't my quote, so I just wanted to make that
Okay.
It wasn't like,
known.
oh,
Don't
credit.
come for me.
Don't come for me.
Don't come for me.
Right.
But yeah.
Didn't plagiarize. So, Joy, what are some things that you do for self-care?
I think for me, I like to practice like mindfulness. I like to journal, which is something I recently tapped into. Like I used to like write little songs, write little.
Oh, I
little-
love that.
when I was younger.
Oh,
When I was younger. Yes, I used to like do stuff like that until I realized recently, like maybe the past like year or so, I like journaling. I like journaling. I like writing down my thoughts. Prayer, like reading my Bible, devotionals. I love podcasts. I love a good podcast. I love a good podcast.
Yeah,
Crazy.
good podcast.
Yeah. Or just filling my body up with like mangoes and strawberries and acai bowls and
fruit is so
Yes,
underrated. I'll take fruit over
it's so
candy every
good.
time.
Me too. Me too.
You like
So,
acai bowls?
I love them.
Do you like
Yeah,
making
she
them?
loves a good
No, I don't make them. I go.
Yeah.
I should start making them. I should have
Yeah.
a business as much as I eat them.
Yeah.
But that's not
Food
what
truck.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a food truck. Joy's acai bowls.
I'd
yeah.
I'd go. I'd be first in
Right.
line.
Really? I used to juice, so I like juicing
I
too.
do.
That used to
I
be
remember
part of
that.
self-care.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
I have a little
Coming in with her
Instagram.
little juice.
Very cool.
Fruits and
Interesting.
vegetables.
That's
yeah. But then I
awesome.
stopped.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't stop. I just stopped because I started getting overwhelmed because I had so much going on with school and stuff.
Yeah. It's tough when you like find a hobby and something that you're really into. And then I guess you kind of like are like, oh, I really enjoy this. Like, let me find a way to monetize it. And then you're monetizing, like you're making money off of it. And then it becomes your job. And then
Yeah,
you're
it's
like, I
not
don't like
as
it
There's
much.
no
anymore.
passion anymore. It's like, dang man, I'm just doing
It's
this
really sad. Yeah.
to get a paycheck. Like, or like you have buyers that are expecting these things and they're like rushing you and forcing you, and it's like,
Stress.
I
Yeah.
don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Need some more self-care.
Yes, yeah,
for real.
yeah.
Yeah. But I do
setbacks.
enjoy like creating things, whether it's like food and different things, and that becoming a form of therapy. Something that this is very like niche, but something that I've done for self-care is I have this really good tortellini recipe that like hits every time. It's very rich, but it's my favorite thing I cook ever. And I just kind of make it in the kitchen, but also with that, I don't know if you guys like Taylor Swift, but I put on her album Folklore, which is very like calming and soothing. It's just a really good album, and it's just specifically that
it's very
album and that
relaxing.
recipe. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
you
you
like
look
very
good,
contemplative too.
So you're making
Yeah.
the food while you're listening to the album.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds. I feel like music is so powerful. It's so deep. It can literally heal you in so many ways. So like I can only imagine like just making food while you're also listening to an album.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind of
that's
reflect on
self-care.
my whole
that's
life.
literally self care.
I'm
Yeah.
on the opposite end. I listen to like true crime podcasts. I'm like cooking, being like,
Yeah.
she
I
was
love
killed.
how-
I'm like,
My sister
As
does
you're
that.
like chopping things.
Yeah.
I love like when people like hearing when people do like mundane things like picking up their kids from school and they're just like,
listing
and then they found the body.
yeah, and it sounds really bad, but I don't
That's
like it.
hilarious.
No, my sister does that. Yeah,
Wow.
that's yeah. It's
I never
cool.
thought about doing that before. I don't know. Maybe I'd probably start crying.
I'm trying to get into
oh my
it, but then I'm like, oh my god, he did
Yes,
what?
I would start crying. Like,
I have like my friends and I listen to like the same podcast, so we'll be like,
That's
"Did you listen to the episode
hilarious.
again? Oh my god!
did you
that's
hear what he did to her?
crazy." Like, oh my god, yeah, that's wild.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It is funny.
Spencer's
little-
probably not surprised that I do that.
That doesn't surprise me at all. But
See, I knew he'd say
I think I'm a little different. I don't listen to true crime podcasts, but I listen to music just like everyone else. I think music is one of the best
Just like
forms of
everyone
self-care. I think it's like one of the
Know what
best
you do?
best ways to honestly calm yourself down. Like sometimes I listen to a song and it almost evokes motion in me that I don't even know that I
hits
didn't even
ya.
know I had.
Favorite
like,
song? What's your favorite
I was
song?
gonna say, what music does that for you?
Yeah, what music does? Because
It's a great question. I don't know. I don't want to be on the spot like that.
I'm just wondering.
I'm
What is
wondering
your
too,
guys'
because
song?
maybe I need to start listening.
Yeah, I need to add it to my playlist.
I like Hosier. He does something to me. Those songs, I'm like, oh my god.
Did you know our radio station is giving away 2 free tickets to see Hozier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The radio
I'm
station?
gonna have to.
Our campus radio station, WSYC.
No.
Follow us on
Wow.
Instagram at
Plug.
WSYC_ship for more information.
Wow.
I'm going to leave that
It's
there.
almost like I
but
planned that.
that is happening. If
That's
you love
so
Hozier.
nice.
Yeah. I'll hook you up, girl.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
My self-care.
Yeah,
That's your self-care,
That's
seeing Hozier.
self-care.
Oh,
For
concerts
sure.
are so powerful.
Yeah. I've
Back
never been
to
one.
the topic of music, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's crazy. But I really have found, I'm not that much of a gym person, but I have really enjoyed going to the gym and going on the Stairmaster, specifically the
I've been
Stairmaster.
thinking about the Stairmaster.
You can
for a
autopilot
while.
on the
knew
Stairmaster.
I
this.
do. I
so
lock
easy.
in so heavy,
Yeah.
and it's gotten to the point where I can go like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, you're just
Oh
not
my
thinking about it.
gosh.
Yeah.
I think the longest I've ever done was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
No,
you're
but
so
no, me
locked
too. But
in
you
that
work your way up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Like, is it the music that you're listening to? Is it just like the motivation that you
I think it's the
have? Like-
music I listen to, and then also pushing myself. And I keep track of like how many floors I've done in the past, and like beating my goals and just pushing myself to see how far I can go, and proving that I was stronger than I thought I was has been super fun. I think that's like what everyone should strive to do in the gym, because it's really gratifying and fun. I don't want to flex or anything, but because I
Flex,
really
Wow,
do not.
flex.
I don't
That's the
like.
that's the form of self care.
Yeah, you can flex a little bit. I don't specialize in like anything else in the gym. Like I really just do cardio kind of. But over break, I climbed the amount of floors in the Empire State Building.
Wow,
So-
that's so exciting.
Yeah,
I'm sure
and
that
it's-
felt really good
exciting.
too.
I know.
yeah, I was like, wow.
I did this.
Yeah, and it's kind of metaphorically, it's like, wow, I kind of like climbed that mountain, I guess. And every time I thought I couldn't do it anymore, I went like 10 extra minutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, like
proves you
doing what you
can.
thought you couldn't.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that too.
But back to journaling. I wanted to talk about this too. I'm not an athlete. We have a lot of athletes on the podcast, and I have to clarify that I myself am not an athlete. However, I am a D1 journaler. I love journaling. Journaling is so fun.
I'm taking that.
Yeah,
D1
So
journal.
powerful.
D1 journal.
it
Oh
is.
my goodness.
So, and then when you look back,
When you look back,
You see your growth.
You're just
It's
like,
so-
oh my
it's
God.
so
because
fun.
the way that I figure it, you journal when you have the questions, and then when you look back, you get the answers.
yes,
Reflecting on your younger self and everything that you didn't know when they were asking the questions, and then now you have that clarity, and you can like kind of pass off that wisdom. And I kind of, a tiny little bit of my head is like, maybe I can like log this knowledge and the things that I found out to like pass on this knowledge eventually to someone else. But yeah, it's really cool to kind of look back and be like, I didn't know what I know now. And that
Oh, yeah.
journaling is really powerful.
it does. Yeah, it shows so much growth, like persistence, resilience. I just like, I don't know, it's amazing. But it also just like heals you and helps you. Like it just helps you realize that like everything that's going on in your head, like once you put it out on paper and you don't keep it so closed up, which I feel like a lot of like students do, they're able to like kind of like, I mean, not like all the way be free, but like kind of feel like a sense of like being
A weight.
present with
It's like
their,
a weight lifted
yeah,
off.
like you're like you're being present with like what's going on in your head, like your feelings and stuff like that. But then you get the opportunity to look back on that and be like, wow, like I overcame like those struggles in that class, or I overcame like that hurdle, like running or like swimming. So it's just like, I don't know, it's powerful.
Yeah, it puts everything in perspective, I think. Looking back on past entries and being like, this consumed my life at one point, and I thought this was the end of my world, and now I don't even think about it. And I probably would have forgotten about it if I didn't write about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
crazy.
remarkable.
I think, I mean, I was just,
Spencer's about to drop a gem.
no, nothing crazy. I was just, I mean, talking with my brother yesterday, he was a little upset because, and he's not this guy who cares about accolades or awards or anything, but like there was an award that he didn't necessarily get, and it's about basically just being a good person and kind of like in the hospital setting. And so like this is something he does all the time. He prides himself in having very good patient care and all these different things. And honestly, he was a little upset that he didn't get it. Like some of his friends got it, and it wasn't like, you know, it was whatever. But he was talking about it. I'm like honestly, bro, it's more like I just try, like, I don't have the knowledge for you at this time because I haven't really been through that where I got passed up like that. But I'm just going to put myself in my dad's shoes, who this would be a joke to him. This would be something that he's laughing about because it's so minute and small. Like, there's so many more awards to come your way, so many big things coming at you. Like, you don't need to stress and like worry so much about all these little things that are happening right now. And I was like, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, my brother, I was like, I understand where you're coming from because it's happening to you right now. It's right in front of your face. This is like what you see. This is how like what's in your life at this time. But like, I'm like, sometimes when I'm stressed or struggling with something, I try and just put myself in my dad or somebody else's shoes, somebody I think is very wise or has a lot of knowledge, and think like, all right, well, how would they really feel about this situation? Because like in 10, 20 years, I'm not going to care about some award about being a good person at the hospital. I'm going to care about, all right, this is what I do on a daily day to help people. I know I've made an impact for myself. So it's like, those are just kind of some of the things I'm like, all right, I try not to get hung up on the small things in life because I just know that it's not going to be the end of my world for sure, no matter what it is, basically.
I love when you share knowledge from your dad, Spencer. You say it and then I think about it for the rest of the day. It sticks with me.
My dad is a wise man.
Don't ever forget.
Yeah. It's so helpful to imagine when you have that one role model in your life and you're like, what would they do? What would they like?
Yeah.
I think it would be helpful for me to put myself in their shoes and just act the way that they would act because I look up to them and they make really wise decisions for themselves. It's nice to have those role models in your life. But yeah, I think it's great to have that foundation in yourself to know that something better is on the way. I think that can help a lot of different anxieties. I recently had a couple of interviews for my dream internship, and it was the coolest thing ever. And it was a long process, and throughout the process, I was like, I'm going to be fine either way. It's going to be okay. And today I ended up not getting it. But I kind of, throughout the process, I kind of built up that foundation in myself that I was like, something better is on the way, as long as I don't let this stop me. Oftentimes, and looking back on those journal entries, being so like, oh, this is the end of my world, and then something ended up taking its place, kind of. So just having that, just trusting the process, kind of, and being like, this isn't the end of the world. This might only be the beginning.
Yep. Where one door closes, another
door opens.
Something better's always coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
and
great
it
to
might not
trust
take
that.
a day. It might take a week. It might take a year, but you just learn
it's
about
on it's
yourself.
on its way as long as you keep pushing and as long as you keep being your best self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that is really good.
I don't know. I think I like made my coffee like just right this morning because
That does it.
Just right.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Yeah, I think honestly, just maybe thinking about some of the supports you have for self-care. You guys want to talk a little about that? Like,
yeah, I would say my parents are probably my like number one, number two, like my top supporters. My dad was a Marine, so he's very good at giving like clear-cut advice.
Wow. Yeah.
My mom's a college professor, so she very much helps with like, professor standpoint and also student standpoint.
Yeah.
She's very helpful.
Yeah.
I have a younger brother that I talk to about things. I have a really good support system that I have from my undergrad years at college because I didn't go to SHIP for undergrad, but I feel like as long as you have like specific support around you, it can be really helpful. Like I'm not a student athlete, so I don't have like the whole coach, like teammate kind of mentality, but I see my peers as kind of like my teammates too. Like the people I work with are also kind of my teammates. So I think it's nice, like having a nice, diverse group of people.
teammates.
Yeah, teammates.
Teammate.
What about you, Joy?
I think for me, the types of support that are really like helpful for my journey have been like my loved ones, like my best friends, like just like God, and I don't know, just like my mentors and like supervisors that I've had that like have definitely like planted seeds in me that has helped me grow, but also like come back and check on me. I think those are the types of support that have really, really been helpful, like through like even this counseling journey, like it's literally wild. It's crazy. You learn so much about yourself, but also like through those times of like growth, you're also like going through phases of like healing and like feelings and all this other stuff. So yeah, I feel like big, like my intimate family, my loved ones, those have been like my biggest supporters.
That's so great to hear. That warms my heart so much.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, those supports, like, you guys name specific ones, but having that support in general is so crucial because it allows you to do the self-care, take care of yourself, to feel better. And I think, like, a lot of times we look at, like, we're in the position of, well, we need the help, we need the support from, like, other people to, like, be able to take care of ourselves, but also at the same time, you need to be the one looking out for other people as well. So, like, you need to be able to give that support just like you're getting it. And if you're not getting it, then you need to find different people in your life. You need to, like, try and figure out people who will be helpful and lead you on that journey in a positive way over a negative one, because that is so crucial, that people you surround yourself with, which we talked about before. But, like, I think that's just like so important as to, like, how you can actually function on a day-to-day basis and practice that self-care. If you don't have the supports around you, you really can't. You can't thrive.
And I think that is a really active function of self-care that not a lot of people talk about. And I feel like we have talked about that before, but really evaluating who you spend your time with.
Yes,
My mom has always said you become like you become influenced most by the 5 people you spend the most time with. So evaluating if they help you become who you want to be, if they instill good habits in you, if they instill a good mindset, good self-talk, good inner monologue, evaluating if they're good for you, and looking out for yourself and feeling, and if you just discerning if you deserve better, and if you have, like, the strength to kind of just move away from that group if they're not what you need. And that's, I think, also an aspect of self-care.
Yeah, like, are they filling your cup or are they taking from it? So I kind of try to think about it sometimes.
But also, I saw this quote and it kind of got me, but this also fits in with self-care. And it's important to be around people who fill your cup and paying attention to how you feel when you leave a social.
Yeah.
And
So
maybe,
big.
and don't make excuses for them all the time.
No.
If you feel drained and if you feel like hurt leaving a social interaction with someone else, don't make excuses. Don't be like, maybe they had an off day. Like, if it's a
No.
repeated thing, be like, wait a second, who am I
Yes.
spending my time with?
Yeah.
But on that note, I liked the quote. I forget who said it, but it's fill your own cup and let others fall in love with the overflow.
Oh,
I
like
love
that.
it.
That's a
Yeah.
good quote.
That was a good one. So
Wow.
What?
We love a good quote here.
We love a
good
quote. We
And
love
when
a
you break
quote.
it down, you're like, oh my gosh, like, it's hitting me from different, like, angles.
we have a lot
like,
to think about today. Reflect on this fine morning.
I
Definitely.
love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think
Something in my life.
Something in my eye.
No, it's like a little, I don't know what it was. Like a little feather or something.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were crying, Joy.
Oh no, yeah, it's getting really deep. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think kind of we'll just wrap it up today. I just wanted to kind of talk about one more thing, and I guess this will kind of count as our ChatGPT portion, but, like, I wanted to talk about, like, some of the stigmas around self-care and mental health, and just about, like, how do the stigmas and, like, affect the difficulty to be able to practice mental health? Like, how hard is it? Do you think you have anything to, like, contribute?
Really good question.
That is a really
Yeah,
good
there's, like, so
question.
many stigmas for mental health, obviously, but, like, not taking care of yourself and not practicing self-care kind of comes with that because you're struggling with all these different problems. So, like,
I
know.
think going back to self-care built around helping future you out. Because when I think self-care, I think of hair wrapped up in a towel, cucumbers over my eyes, face masks, Gilmore Girls playing somewhere, candle lit, tortellini made.
Yes.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna make it for you guys someday. It's so
Yeah, you
good.
have to. I'm
I'm
definitely.
not even gonna lie.
We
I'm
will hold you
sauteing
to it.
I'm
onions.
gonna like check in with Spencer. Like, hey.
No, yeah.
does she make
I'll
it?
drop
Somebody
it by
make it.
sometime. It's really good.
Come on over to the rack.
And it's great because it's so rich. So it's kind of like meal prep for the week. But I digress. But
I'm really looking forward to this.
yeah,
Come by the rack.
yeah. I might have to. I'll set a reminder in my phone.
Yes.
But stereotypical self-care and maybe like putting off work and being like, I'm like low on energy, like maybe I'll just put this off till tomorrow and do a face mask and ice roll my face and take a bath and then go to sleep. And that's fine, but also that's going to kind of set you back for later. So, but you can still do all of that, but also create a plan in your head with how you can ensure that you're going to, like, there's also that added piece of it that, like, be sure that you're going to push yourself to fulfill the needs that you have.
Yeah.
And the things you need to get done, because again, you deserve to succeed and you deserve to not feel stressed and not have a heavy workload and having that kind of mindset. And so I feel like that's the added part of the stigma kind of. You have to, it's not just the face masks and things like that. You gotta create a plan for yourself.
I don't know. Sorry for cutting you
Go
off.
ahead.
I feel like it also, like, everything that you were saying, it just reminded me of like you deserving to, like, I feel like a stigma is like, say as a student, say as like a professor or a faculty member, like anybody feeling as though like they're not working hard enough to actually deserve self-care. Like they have, like, even for like our athletes, like I'll talk to a lot of my athletes and they're like, but I didn't do this today and I was supposed to do this. And I'm like, but what else did you do? Like, what else did you accomplish today that like I feel like at the end of the day, like, you're deserving of taking care of yourself. But a lot of times, like, there's a stigma of, like, how many jobs do you have? Like, how many classes are you taking? How many da-da-da?
You lose sight of that.
Like, and it's like, who can tell you, like, how much is good enough? Or who can tell you, like, how much on your plate is, like, the determinant of how much self-care you get to have?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's like, when you said that, it just, like, that came to my mind because I feel like a lot of, like, our student athletes that we work with, they're going through so much and they're potentially causing themselves to burn out because they feel like they're not doing enough to even deserve self-care.
Joy, you're like speaking to me right now.
And she's so, like, she'll say things sometimes, so I'll just be like, oh my, wow.
Like it's hitting me
But listen,
here.
it's because when I'm talking to, like, everyone, like, even sitting at this table, like, it's just things that, like, just start to come up for you that it's like, oh my gosh, I have to take a moment to process this. And the first word that came to mind is, like, deserving. Like, I feel like I'm not deserving to have self-care. But then you have those friends, the loved ones that are like, what? Like, you do so much.
And
Like,
that comes back to your support system and, like, the reflections of you and the ways that seeing yourself in the way that you don't necessarily see yourself. The word deserve is really tough for me personally.
Yeah.
And I have, like, a huge workload and maybe I'm not meeting expectations the way that I feel like I should. And I might, but I just feel I'm just really hard on myself. And I feel like maybe that's a way that I, like, make myself improve or force myself to improve, not necessarily in a healthy way, but I improve. And the word deserve, it's like, do I deserve to relax? Do I deserve that? And so admitting that to yourself and letting that happen is a huge step in that process.
I think one thing that I've just been thinking about for a minute here is that on here is talking about guilt and self-imposed expectations, which are like prime of what you're saying. Like all the student athletes, yourself, like you feel guilty if you're not doing enough. You feel guilty, or you're like you have all these things that you put on yourself, on your shoulders, and then if you don't reach that limit of what you're trying to accomplish, you feel guilty, you feel bad, you feel like you don't deserve to be able to take care of yourself. And like, so say you don't finish editing something for the slate or writing something for the slate or something, and you're like, okay, I definitely don't deserve to be able to hang
You
out.
hit the nail on the head with that one.
I'm not
You
trying
got
to,
me. Read the Slate
He's holding you
newspaper in a
accountable.
newsstand near you or online at theslateonline.com. Oh my gosh,
just being
you
like-
got me there.
Yeah, that's
But that's
basically
true,
the
yeah.
situation. Though. You don't feel like you deserve to be able to have fun that week or to do whatever you want to do
Yeah.
at that time because you're like, I didn't do this, what I needed to do, or what I should have been doing, or even further above and beyond what I should have been doing. I didn't accomplish that, so now I don't feel like I did what I was supposed to, which is not. That is not the way anybody should live. That is not the way anybody should have expectations for themselves.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the way that our culture and society, or the way that we like function. That's the way things go. We just are constantly always trying to do that, those kind of things.
And when you hold that and you're constantly looking in the rear view, like you're not going to go anywhere that's helpful. I don't know. It's in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to, and like, you just take accountability for how you may have struggled or not met those expectations, accept and forgive and move on.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
That's a really important piece of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think we had a great episode
Yeah.
today. That's all from
Thank
me.
you guys so much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
so
having
great speaking with you
us.
guys.
So glad to have you guys on here.
Yeah.
On this beautiful
so
day.
much for joining
Yes,
us.
on this very much
Beautiful
beautiful day.
Yeah, this
Oh,
very-
on this gorgeous Wednesday morning. I am not looking forward to
Yeah.
going back outside.
Yeah, right.
I know, me too. I forgot that we had to go back outside. Oh my
gosh.
It was a struggle
Goodness.
this morning.
Yeah.
Man, self-care is bringing an umbrella.
Yeah.
Yes.
A jacket with the hood.
Yeah.
Kurt asked us, he's like, do you have an umbrella? And I'm like,
I have this hood.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
we got
yes.
this hood
Every other
though.
day.
Yeah, not a quarter
No,
zip like
maybe a hood
Spencer.
would be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't
Identifying
realize it was raining
mistakes
that
and
bad.
doing
Didn't
better in the
realize it was
future.
raining that bad. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Joy and Emily from the Seaver Rack.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
This has been a great conversation about
Yes.
self-care, and I hope you guys take care of yourself this week and in the future, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us on the third installation of the Cow Wellness Podcast. We'll see you guys soon.
Vision of the